Hi everybody, just waiting for Kare to join to start our live today. Hi Kare!
Hi.
How are you? I can't hear you so well, it's a bit muffled.
Oh, okay, is this a bit better?
Yes, it still sounds a bit like you're in a washing machine.
Oh, strange. Oh, gosh.
Maybe let me try turn my volume down. Can everybody else hear okay?
Can you hear all right?
Yeah, do you know what? It'll be fine, like I can hear you. It's just a bit like crackly for some reason.
Okay.
Right, well, I suppose I should introduce you. Welcome, Kare, T34. She went to Rio, aged only 15, and won silver and 2 bronze, which is pretty incredible, and broke the new world record in 2018 in the 100 meters. So welcome, Kare. It's really good to be here with you today.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's really good to be online. Thank you.
It's actually nice to we've done a bit of work together in the Para Queens not Instagram group, WhatsApp group, but it's actually nice to see you in reality.
Yeah, definitely. It's been really good to, train with different people and find out about people from different sports, because I guess we don't have a lot of opportunities to actually, interact outside of the Paralympic Games. So.
Yeah, definitely. So that for those that don't know, Para Queens is a WhatsApp group set up between quite a few of the British athletes from completely different sports, and we're just kind of supporting each other through, I suppose, this tough time really. And I unfortunately haven't been able to get involved in many because just my training schedule has been so different, but I think it's really nice that we've all come together, and just having that chat between us has been really, really lovely.
Yeah, it has. It's been really, really good. Yeah, especially at the beginning of lockdown when it was quite difficult to really train with people. We were all kind of by ourselves and things. So yeah, it's been really good.
Definitely. So you came onto the scene in 2016. That was your debut at the Paralympic Games. What inspired you to become part of the Paralympic movement and get involved, I suppose, in Paralympic sport?
Well, I watched London 2012 Paralympic Games like a lot of people, and I was just really inspired by all the athletes there, especially it being, home games, and I saw all the amazing GB athletes do really well. But athletics was something that really just caught my attention, and I just found it really exciting just to see how quick people would run or race, and especially the wheelchair racing. I just thought I really wanted to have a go.
Definitely. So were you involved in athletics before that or not?
No, I wasn't at all. I mean, I'd watched a bit of athletics, but I never realised that people with disabilities really did athletics. I knew a little bit, but yeah, I really didn't understand that it was kind of elite sport. I didn't understand the level of it until I watched the Paralympic Games. And that was the first time I'd actually watched the Paralympic Games. So it was really special.
Yeah, I definitely think London was a massive turning point in terms of people being exposed to parasport and actually realizing that there were so many opportunities out there for them. So how did you, so obviously you saw it in London, how did you then get involved? Like, how did it all go from watching potentially your idols and the people that you were going to race 4 years later to how did that all happen?
So it was quite strange, to be honest. So I really wanted to get involved in athletics, and I realized that I had an athletics club, Coventry Godiva Harriers, and they were based at the Warwick University track, and that was only like 5 minutes away from where I lived. And I found out that there was a wheelchair racing group there, and I mean, that is a big deal because in wheelchair racing there's not a lot of groups really around the UK, so it was really nice to have it close to home. And I also got to race against a woman that was at the Paralympic Games, the same classification as me, and then I started from there, and it was nice to just train with a big group of people with the same disability, some people with different disabilities. And yeah, it was just really special. And it was the first time that I'd really been around that many people with kind of quite diverse abilities and things. So yeah, it's really good.
It's almost like it's meant to be, like the fact that
Yeah.
5 minutes away from you. And so you didn't even know anything about the fact that they were based there before? Until
I
you
knew
did.
somebody. Yeah, I knew somebody who did wheelchair racing, because I did a little bit of wheelchair basketball before as well, but I didn't really know how many people did it, and I didn't really know a lot about the sport. So yeah, to get involved was really good.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realise you did wheelchair basketball. Would you ever go back and play that again?
Maybe, I don't know. Never say never, but I mean, athletics is the main thing at the moment.
I was going to say, suddenly you're competing two sports in the Paralympics, basketball and wheelchair athletics. Is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I read about you that, you know, at school, that actually you were kind of not really encouraged to get involved in sport and often excluded from sport. Now, this really, really shocked me, the fact that, you know, you're a lot younger than me, and the fact that that's still happening in this day and age, it is pretty shocking. So, like, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that was quite difficult. It was a difficult time for me. I wasn't really doing sport at school. They usually said it was for health and safety reasons. They didn't really know how to accommodate me, and it was really difficult. It was a difficult period of my life, and I think that's why I never really thought that I'd do sport, because I had this assumption that people with disabilities don't really do sport, because that was my experience in, you know, primary school. And yeah, it is hard, and it is a shame. It still happens now. I mean, I've spoken to people even last year and telling me how, you know, they can't even get to their GCSE classes because of accessibility issues. So yeah, crazy.
What could be done? Because I was so lucky that, you know, I was massively supported in PE at school. But I suppose with my disability, they can't claim that there's an accessibility issue or anything like that. What do you think could be done to change this? Because that actually really upsets me that, you know, all kids aren't given the opportunity.
Yeah, I think education is so important. I think it's about teachers being aware of disability. I don't really know whether PE teachers get a lot of education around how to accommodate PE lessons, for example, or classes in general. And yeah, I think education is really important, because if they're not aware of people's needs, that's when they start making assumptions as to what people can and can't do. And yeah, I think it's also important that maybe we get more disabled role models out there, or Paralympians maybe going into schools and starting to encourage people as well. I think those kind of things will be really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. There's definite need for more exposure and more role models within media, within schools and everything, just so it becomes a bit more of a norm, and try and get rid of that taboo, I suppose. So have you actually been back to your school since that, and kind of, obviously they'll have seen how much you've achieved. Have you been back there and seen your teachers?
Yeah, I have. So that was mainly when I had that experience. That's mainly at the beginning of junior school. When I got to secondary school, they did try and get me involved a bit more. And I have been back to junior school, and I've been back to talk and things. And I think they're really proud of me, and I think I've helped them to maybe see disability in a different way, and to maybe they'll be better equipped if they do have more wheelchair users, for example, going into that school.
No, that's amazing. And I think people like you are needed to kind of be that role model, to be that mentor, to go in and, you know, re-educate. And they wouldn't have been doing it in a malicious way, but I suppose it's just, like you say, that lack of education. So obviously 2016, suddenly you're going to the Paralympic Games, age 15. Amazing achievement. And then to come back with 3 medals. How did that feel? Like, obviously you were the youngest member of the British athletics team. Tell us a bit more about Rio and your experience and the pressure that potentially you felt.
It was a really good experience. Rio was so amazing, and I don't think I felt too much pressure, because I'd watched them in 2012 and I really just wanted to go to a Paralympic Games. I was just so excited to be there. So I just enjoyed it. I think I just soaked up the whole experience, had lots of fun, and to actually be on the podium for all 3 of my events was also so special. And also to hear the national anthem anyway, because I'm a 34, so Hannah won gold in the 3 events. So I was able to actually hear the national anthem, be on the podium, and have that, you know, all that just that kind of feeling of being proud to be British and to be up there. So yeah, it was really good. It was a really good experience.
Oh, good. And I presume, being the youngest one on the team, did the older ones take you under their wing? Were they all, you know, pretty supportive of you? Is there a good morale within the British athletics team?
Yeah, definitely. I felt really comfortable. I mean, I did the World Championships the year before, so I knew a lot of the team. But being in Rio was so nice, just to feel really a part of the athletics team, but also, you know how it's like in the village, seeing a lot of other athletes from different sports and things. So yeah, it was really good, and everybody really made me feel quite welcome for my first game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's where British Paralympics GB is so special. Like, although we are separate sports, we are one team. And I suppose it's harder sometimes with the bigger sports, you know, like athletics and swimming, because you're such a big team anyway, that you often don't mix. But, you know, to be in the same flats, and there is still that common ground between everybody. And I feel like, you know, you do have that support from other sports and other teammates, which is incredible.
Yeah, really good.
So then obviously in 2018, or 2019, you were chosen to be team captain.
Yeah,
British Athletics.
Yeah.
So from, you know, you must have still been one of the youngest members on the team to be team captain. That is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I was surprised, I'll be honest. I remember when the team manager for that event told me, and I was really surprised. I was like, me, really? Just because we've got obviously a really big team, and there's a lot of athletes that have, you know, done a lot and have a lot more experience than me. So for me to be chosen by my teammates to be the team captain, that was really special. And it was a great championships. We did really well as a team, and yeah, it was really good.
I suppose it shows how well respected you are by your teammates, and actually, you know, even age is just a number, and actually that didn't matter, and your experience potentially didn't matter, because you were valued so much by your team to be able to lead the team. So yeah, that's incredible. And so is it a voting system then? Is it the other athletes vote you in?
Yeah, so it was, yeah, for that championships, and we actually had to like vote for who we wanted. So I think that made it even more special. Yeah, the fact that it was like the whole team and the staff as well that chose. So, yeah.
Definitely. I don't know, I was going to put words into your mouth completely there, but obviously breaking a world record in 2018, that must have been, in the 100 meters, that must have been a pretty special moment. How did that feel, and did you expect it? Were you kind of in amazing shape and it all came together, or, you know, was it complete shock?
It was a bit of both, really. I mean, I've worked really hard, and training had gone very well going into the Anniversary Games. So I knew that I had a good performance in the bag somewhere, and I knew that I could, you know, do a really good race. And I was really just focused on getting a PB for myself and doing well. And then to get the world record was just amazing. And I didn't necessarily expect a world record, but I remember when I finished the race, I looked to the side, and around the track there's these like banners that appear, and then it said world record, and I was just like, what? Wow. And then when it was sub 17 seconds, I also just thought, gosh, like, because that's, you know, that's really a big deal for me. So yeah, it was really good. It was a really good experience. I had my family there as well because it was in London, and yeah, it was an amazing day. Like, I'm never ever going to forget it.
I was going to say, and it probably was apart from the Paralympic Games, it's probably one of the biggest crowds that you get at most competitions, wasn't it? Because it was in London, back in the stadium, Muller Anniversary Games, so it was combined with the able-bodied. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I can imagine the atmosphere. What was it like? Was it similar to Rio, or?
I think so, yeah. I think if you're going to compare the Anniversary Games to anything, it's similar to kind of a Paralympic stage in the sense of the amount of people that are there. And especially, yeah, because it's linked to the Diamond League events, there's a lot of people watching. So it was a really good experience, and it was nice just to have, you know, para events at that profile. So that's a great thing that we do have para events there, and hopefully we'll have even more para events at Diamond Leagues in the future.
Definitely, because I was going to say, do you feel that makes a big difference combining both able-bodied and para together, or do you prefer it separate? How do you feel about that?
I think it's quite nice to have them joined. I understand that it can't happen all the time. For example, we can't have a merged Olympic and Paralympic Games. Maybe that might be difficult logistically, but it's nice to have a couple of events where they do add some events, and hopefully they'll be able to add even more events in the future. And yeah, it's really good just to have a good crowd, and also for there to be that visibility of parasport as well.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. Again, it goes back to that more exposure, and getting the crowds in, which is incredible. And then they kind of feel the love and they want to go and see more of it. And unfortunately, we don't often get that exposure, that it's hard for people to know the household names and get to know the athletes behind the sport. So I think, like you say, it's definitely really important. So obviously the last few months have been a bit weird. How have you found this? And I'm sure you've been asked this question loads of times, but I think people really, really want to know, like, what you've been doing and how you found the whole postponement.
I think it was quite tough, to be honest. I think lockdown was difficult. It was difficult initially, but then after a while I realized that, I've got to make the most of the situation. Obviously I couldn't go on the track for a long time, I couldn't go in the gym, those kind of things, but I've had to do what I could, and I got a couple of things at home, for example, a couple of equipment that I could use at home. And then I've been able to do the rollers, and we've been able to do sessions as a group online. So we've tried to make the most of it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, you almost learn so much about yourself through these maybe slightly tougher times, don't you? Is there any key learnings that you can take away from the last few months that maybe you might actually continue to do and to change the way potentially you were before?
I think motivation has been a big thing. I think my motivation has definitely changed. I think obviously this year with the Paralympics being postponed, it was difficult, and I think it made me realise how much I'm externally motivated, for example, by having a big competition at the end of the year or whatever to aim for. So in that sense, I've had to work on internal motivation, and I think that's the thing that a lot of us have had to learn, to realise that we've got to actually think about why we're doing it and just about our enjoyment for sport, external to events and medals and things like that.
I think that's a really, really good point, actually, because it's almost going back to why we started and why we joined sport and what were our motivations when we first did it. We weren't doing it for the Paralympic Games or for the big competitions. We were just doing it because we loved sport, and it's refinding that love for the sport, which I suppose is really, really important.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
So yeah, I think that's pretty amazing. So are you back now doing a little bit more as a group, or are you still not allowed on tracks?
We're still not doing group sessions on the track, so we're still doing things online, but hopefully we'll be able to get back soon. But yeah, we've still been able to stay in contact and do things as a group, so that has been really good.
And is there any sign of competitions returning this year, or do you think it's going to be just waiting until next year?
Hopefully we might have competitions at the end of the year, but we're still quite unsure, so that's why we're all kind of still ticking over just in case something does happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped with our motivation as well, because we really don't know, like we could have events at the end of the year.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but for me, that's almost, I think the thing I find the hardest is that uncertainty of just no clue what next week is going to look like, and compared to next month and compared to a few months down the line, when you're just like, we live our lives in such a structured way, and we've always got goals and we know exactly the dates of those things. So to suddenly just, we might have a race in a few months, you're like, oh gosh, well, that's a completely different preparation to what I'd be doing right now. So I find that personally quite hard. Is that something that uncertainty has been hard for you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know exactly kind of when something's going to happen. So yeah, it has been kind of difficult, but again, I think we just realised kind of the other aspects that we need as athletes, just to have that patience, that perseverance to just keep going despite, the uncertainty.
Yeah, patience is definitely the big word in there, which often not many of us have at all whatsoever. So what would give me like an example of what your favourite session is? Like, it would be good for me to kind of know a little bit more about wheelchair racing and what your favourite session would be.
It depends really. I don't mind, because I do the 100 metres and the 800 metres. Some of it is endurance based, some of it is more sprint based, but I do definitely enjoy kind of like sprinty sessions. For example, something like 200 metre accelerations is quite a fun one. kind of 100-meter acceleration. So we might be, let's say, pushing for 300 meters and then sprinting for the last 100 meters, or pushing for 200 meters, sprinting for the last 200 meters. So those kind of things are quite good sessions, just to practice acceleration and get into top speed.
That sounds cool. And would you still be able to do that kind of thing on the rollers? Presumably you'd just go slightly easier and then just like a max out, however 17 seconds or whatever you'd be doing.
Yeah, so you've been able to do that on rollers, but just, with time, whether it might be a 20-second sprint, for example, or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, it will be interesting to see the strength element you've got from just being on the rollers in comparison to being on the track. Like, do you reckon you might be potentially stronger and fitter from that than being on the track, or not?
I think it depends. I think there's some things that you do gain from rollers. So I think technique-wise, it's definitely really helpful because you're just pushing, so you can just really focus on where your arms are going in your technique. And also I think endurance wise as well, just because you're getting used to just pushing for a long time. So those kind of things I think will transfer quite well when we get back to doing track sessions. Yeah,
there's like no respite at all, is there? It's not like you can just like for a bit. You it's just a constant movement, which it'll be interesting to see how people react from it. That it might turn out that they're like, well, actually, you're pretty good off this. Maybe you have to do it all year through. Not what you want. So sorry.
It's okay. Oh, that's all right. It's okay, but I think it gets a little bit boring just being in the same place.
Yeah, it's the blank walls, isn't it? When you're just like, the time definitely ticks a lot slower than when you're outside on a track or on the road or whatever. That's what I find anyway. But I think you then definitely don't take being outside for granted at all. You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Because I did a bit of road training and it was just nice just to be outside.
Yeah.
Just be somewhere a bit different.
Definitely. Did you take up any like weird different things that you wouldn't have done before? Did you try any other sports or do anything else during the lockdown period?
I have actually, because I got a ski erg, so I've been doing a bit of that, which has been really good, to be honest. I think that's a different type of exercise. I've been fortunate to do some sessions with, for example, rowers when they do their erg sessions. So yeah.
That's cool. Nice. I quite wanted to get one actually, but everything was sold out and there was nothing available anywhere. But yeah, I wanted to quite give it a go, although it looks like it absolutely wrecks.
Yeah, it is a tough one. I think I was quite fortunate. I probably got one just before they like sold out, but it's been good. It's been nice just to focus on something a bit different and just to have something just to mix up training.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of, so we've talked about your favourite session. What would you say has been the worst session, or the session that you really, really dread?
Actually, I think maybe the worst is sometimes we do a Cooper test in training. So that's like, I think it's 12 minutes of just flat out, well, not flat out, but 12 minutes of pushing around the track. That's probably the worst, to be honest. We haven't done it in a while, but when it happens, it's quite painful.
So we do something kind of similar, but we do 12 minutes and then you have like 30 minutes to recover, and then you do a 3 minutes, and they're both max. So is that what's the Cooper test used for?
I think it's just to see what distance we can cover. So it's a good way of comparing. For example, let's say 1 year someone just covers 4K, and then another year 4.5K or something. You can just see how you're doing, and just as a way of kind of testing where you're at.
Okay, but that 12 minutes is like, for you as, sprint / middle distance, would you class it 800 as middle distance? Yeah. Like, surely 12 minutes is an absolute killer. Like, that is that relevant to what you do, or?
Not a lot, but I used to do 5K road races when I was younger, because there's an event called the London Mini Marathon that works beside the London Marathon. So that used to be quite an important thing to do when I was doing those longer races. At the moment, probably not as much, but it's still something nice, just something a bit different to do.
Nice, but horrible at the same time, I can imagine. It's super painful. Now, you mentioned marathon there, or the 5K. Would you ever step up your distance potentially in the future to go down like the marathon route, or are you a sprinter through and through?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I could last a marathon, I'll be honest. I think I need to gradually go up. I think I need to at least finish the 10K first before I can step up to the marathon. But I definitely like to do a 10K because I did one once, but I didn't actually finish it. So I want to try and do one. That's definitely something that I want to do.
What happened then for you not to finish it?
It was tough. I think the course was very difficult. It was a windy day, and I just physically, I think that's the way that my disability affects me a bit. Physically, I just could not last in the chair. I was just very uncomfortable, so I had to stop. But it's something that I'm working towards, definitely trying to be in the chair for longer and do longer distances.
The thing is as well, you're still so young that actually you almost want to get your sprinting days done, and then that can be something like way down in the future when you're a little bit older and maybe are struggling to get those marginal gains, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And it would just be like a nice goal to have as well, to actually do a marathon. I think it seems like a really cool thing to do.
Yeah,
have you done a marathon or anything like that?
You know, I would love to. I would definitely like to in the future, but no. I find my hour race long enough, let alone a marathon. I'm like, geez. But no, maybe one day, once my bones and joints are more used to the constant impact of the ground and can actually run that far. So yeah. But so what if there was any other sport that you would do, what do you reckon it would be?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Maybe, like I said, maybe I might try basketball again one day. I think that might be a cool thing to do again. Yeah, I think maybe because I've already kind of done a bit of that, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, there's no other sport where you're like, triathlon, give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, triathlon seems quite cool, but I think obviously I can imagine the training, it must be quite intense with the 3 different elements.
Yeah, it is, but in one sense that's the beauty of it, because you're not just always focused on the one thing. Like, you've got 3 elements to focus on, so you kind of just constantly change the stimulus, which is what I love about it. What's your swimming and cycling like?
I can swim. I do a bit of swimming. I probably need to work a bit harder to do like longer distances than swimming, but and I haven't tried hand cycling. I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah, definitely. 2028. Are you coming over?
Maybe.
Give it a go. And also, you're currently at uni, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So what year are you in?
I've just finished my first year at university.
Okay. And which uni and what are you studying?
I'm at Warwick University and I'm studying history.
Ah, amazing. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been really good. I found the content really interesting. It has. It's been a really good year.
Quite a strange, probably first year of uni. At least you got to enjoy the first bit of it, and probably.
Yeah, definitely. Because term 1 was quite difficult just because of how new it was. Term 2 was amazing. Then obviously term 3 didn't happen, so it would have been nice to carry on. But obviously, I'm excited for next year as well.
Yeah, and I suppose in one sense, it's probably made it slightly easier for your training because you've got that. You don't have the commute time of getting to uni and everything else, do you?
Yeah, exactly. It's been nice to do it at home. I guess there's no excuses really. Everything's at home. So
yeah. How have you found balancing sport and academic university life?
It's been okay. I mean, it was difficult initially just to get into the rhythm, but once I got into the rhythm of things, it was all right. And I also find that at university, as long as you have a good schedule and you know what you need to do, I think it's okay. So as long as you're good at managing your time and you know when you're going to train, know when you're going to study, it's not too bad. And also doing history, my contact hours aren't too bad. So I've got a lot of the day that I can do a lot of work at home and then also fit in training.
Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes almost when you're busier, you're much more efficient with your time. Like, I know now I feel like I'm the busiest person on earth, but I don't do anything other than train. Whereas when I was at uni, I got so much done, and school and everything, and you're constantly balancing everything. So I think it's really good to have that balance between study and your athletic career. So yeah, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think both things kind of complement each other.
Yeah, and it's quite nice to have like a bit of a distraction sometimes, and not your whole focus not just to be on sport, I suppose.
Yeah.
Takes the pressure off, and good to prepare yourself for the future after sport as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you've been doing a lot of like Instagram lives, focusing on both race and disability. How have you found these? And what made you start doing it, basically?
So with a lot of the things that were going on, for example, with Black Lives Matter, I felt like as a Black para athlete, I felt like I needed to say something or do something. And I did feel like the experiences of people with disabilities were somewhat maybe sidelined, and maybe people didn't really understand what it was like for the disabled Black community. So that's why I did the lives, and it was really good because I spoke to people, not just Black people with disabilities, but just finding out how this has affected the disabled community in general, and just finding out about people's experiences of racism and race and disability. So yeah, it was really good.
And are you still going to carry it on, or is that it? Have you done so many episodes and that's...
I did 5. That went quite well. I mean, maybe I'll start it again. Yeah, I think it was something really nice, and obviously we need to keep conversations going. So definitely I think I'll do it again.
And what were the responses like to it? Was it quite a positive response?
Yeah, it was. I had a lot of really good messages of people saying thank you, and that they found out a lot or learned a lot through it. And that's why it's just important to have resources out there if people want to know about the way that, you know, race and disability intersect. And also I got comments from people that have, for example, young children with disabilities in the Black and Asian community, and how they found it useful and just encouraging. So yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important that those conversations are being had, rather than, you know, it's quite easy for people to just put it behind and just not really talk about it. So I think it's been amazing, and you know, for me to watch something like that has been really, really helpful. And just having those open and honest conversations, I think has been amazing. So anybody that's watching, definitely go and check out Kare's Instagram live pages. They are brilliant. So yeah, I think you should keep it going. I think you need to keep doing more, getting some more interviews on there, and just getting more content.
Yeah, definitely.
And so outside of sport, what do you think like the future holds for you? What do you see yourself doing? What you know, obviously you're doing a history degree. Where do you see potentially after you retire, which probably is a long, long way away, but where do you see life after sport?
I'm not sure. I've thought a bit about perhaps teaching, because I'm quite passionate about education and just making education more inclusive. So I think I've got to kind of actually, you know, take that forward and actually maybe go into education and things.
Definitely. And I think it sounds like you've got the ideas there for how you can make it more inclusive and how things need to change within the education system. Because like we said earlier, it's probably not just sport, it's probably across all subjects that there's a lot of areas where kids are being told you can't get involved in this, or you can't do various things, and not being given the opportunities, which is really sad.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think it will make, you know, students more aware of disability. For example, having a teacher, you know, with a disability. And again, it goes back to visibility and just making everything more inclusive and diverse.
Definitely, 100% agree with that. And in terms of sporting, what's your future in sport? Like, where do you see yourself? Tokyo? Are you planning on carrying on after Tokyo, or is that all kind of unknown right now?
Yeah, Tokyo is the main goal. We'll see how it goes after Tokyo. I definitely want to carry on racing, and it's something that I really enjoy doing, but just taking each season as it comes and just enjoying it. And hopefully I'll have another good games. I just want to go out there and just enjoy it and have fun. And I think Japan seems like such an amazing place, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, have you guys managed to get over there yet, or not quite?
No, not yet. So it'll be really good. Hopefully, I don't know whether we'll have a chance before, but it'll be really nice to go.
So you didn't have a test event in Japan?
No, we didn't. No.
Okay. So you haven't experienced the lovely heat yet?
Not yet. I've heard a lot about it though.
Presumably though, will the athletic stadium be like slightly air conditioned? Will they be able to kind of create a slightly cooler environment for you guys?
I'm not sure. I mean, I hope so. We'll see.
I feel like I heard something about that, but I'm not sure if I'm just making that up or if it's actually how it will be. So will you compete in all 3 events, both the 100, the 4 and the 8 in Tokyo? Is that the plan?
Hopefully, yeah, because it's not 3 events anymore. So we've got the 100 and 800 meters now.
Oh, did they take 400 out after?
Yeah.
Okay.
After the World Championships in 2017, they took it out. But I'm hoping to be in the 100 and the 800.
Yeah. So presumably, have you qualified yet, or do you still need to qualify?
I still need to qualify. I think even if you've got like the time, I think there's like a specific time when you like officially qualify.
Need to do it, yeah. So when is your qualification? Oh, I suppose that's a very unknown probably question right now.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, fair enough. So passions outside of sport?
I feel like, to be honest, as a student, it's just racing and studying, to be honest. Yeah. So when I'm not racing, I'm just like reading around history, because that's something that I'm really passionate about. So
what particular areas of history?
So a lot of African history. That's something that I'm quite interested in. I think also because I didn't really get a chance to study it a lot in primary school or secondary school, so it's something that I've kind of done a lot of reading around by myself, and also that I did through university. So that's something that I really enjoy. And also sports history a bit as well. Like this year I did a project on Jesse Owens and about the 1936 Berlin Olympics and things like that. And a lot of that is really interesting, just to see how the Olympic movement has changed and how things are similar actually as well.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think things have changed within the Paralympic movement as well?
I think so. I mean, I haven't actually done a lot of... I want to definitely do a lot more research about the Paralympic movement, but you can tell a lot, I think, through looking at race chairs and things like that. I can tell that wheelchair racing is definitely evolving, and it's quite exciting to see how things have changed and improved, and the innovation in the sport as well.
Wheelchair racing is pretty huge as well, isn't it? Like if you think now, like all the marathons, particularly in the marathon side of things, you know, wheelchair racing is involved in all of the major marathons, isn't it? Which is incredible. If you think back however many years ago, I don't think they would have had that involvement at all.
Yeah, definitely. It's been amazing to watch the marathon series. It's been so good to watch all of them do it, and it's really good. It's really exciting for the sport and for them to be in all those marathons. And yeah, they train so hard. Honestly, I don't understand how people do marathons and back to back as well. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it definitely is. One day you'll probably be doing the same. So tell me something that I'm going to ask this question. I always hate people asking me because I'm like, oh, blimey heck, I don't know anything. Tell me something that nobody knows about you, or very few people. Something cool.
I got up to grade 6 in singing.
Oh,
did you? Quite musical. Yeah, I used to do singing lessons and things like that. So.
Oh, why are we not seeing some singing from you?
Yeah, that's gone. I think any sort of musical talent I had, I don't know where it's gone.
I'm not sure if it can go. I'm next time I see you, I'm going to get you on some kind of karaoke machine. Karaoke machine, and you can put us all to shame with your amazing voice.
Actually, I did hear about, I think in Japan there's karaoke bars or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll see.
So you don't do any singing now?
I mean, besides just by myself, not really, you know.
Somebody just put multi-talented. I definitely agree with that. You've probably got so many other talents that you're just keeping hidden there. And I thought, just for a bit of fun, to kind of get to know, a bit of a quick fire question. So you just react as quickly as possible with your answers. So they're a bit random, and I realised to begin with they're all based around foods. Then I had to quickly change what I was doing. So ice creams or ice lollies?
Ice cream.
Ice cream, good choice. Eat in or eat out? Obviously not right now.
Eat out.
Sweet or savoury?
Savoury.
Oh, really? Interesting. 100 or 800?
100.
Yeah. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Good. If you could be any animal, what would you be?
A dog, maybe. I don't know,
Dog?
like dog.
Ah, what kind of dog?
A Maltese. They're quite cute.
Oh, they're the really like fluffy ones, aren't they?
Yeah, just a small fluffy one.
The little like teddy bear. Ah, cute. Do you have a dog?
No, I don't. I really want one though. But...
Ah, definitely. It's a bit hard though with our lifestyles of constantly going away, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would you say? What one thing is on your bucket list?
At the moment, I don't know. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I know it links to the Paralympic Games, but literally that is something that's genuine on my bucket list.
Yeah, definitely. Do you reckon you might stay on after the games and see a bit of Japan?
I'm not sure. I mean, if I can, maybe I will. It would be nice to just actually fully experience the place, because you know what it's like. I guess when we're competing, we don't really get to see an awful lot of the place. So.
Especially, you guys run from day 1 to day 9, day 10, whatever, and you don't probably get to see anything of any of the other sports or Japan in itself, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Even if we have, let's say, 2 events, they're usually quite spread out. So yeah, we can't quite relax kind of in between.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's an amazing country, and I think you'll really love it. What's like your pet hate?
I can't think of anything. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like things like coleslaw and mayonnaise and things. I don't know. They just. I don't know what it is. I just
don't like the coleslaw.
No.
Good one. I kind of asked you this earlier because I was going to say, what sport, if you could do any sport in the world, like not necessarily a para sport, what would it be? But would the answer still be the same as what you said earlier?
Yeah, pretty much. But maybe like outside of para sport, or outside of kind of competing necessarily, I think I wouldn't mind trying, like, is it the alpine skiing?
That's the one where you aren't going downhill, you're like flat, isn't it? Or is alpine skiing?
Sure. Yeah, maybe. I think so. But I've seen like obviously some people ski in like accessible skis.
Yeah.
I'm now doing a bit of ski erg. Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah. Have you ever been skiing before?
No, I haven't. No.
Definitely, you should definitely do it. It's amazing. So if you were going to have 3 people at the dinner table, who would those 3 people be?
Is that anybody in history, or is that?
Yeah, anybody in history, famous, not famous, probably famous actually. Let's go with famous.
I'm not sure.
You're gonna have some real cool historians that are in there.
I mean, the top 3 people that just come to mind now is probably Marcus Garvey, because I just think he's quite an interesting character. Jesse Owens, and A.W. Tozer has been someone I've been reading stuff about, and I wouldn't mind meeting those 3.
That'd be a pretty cool dinner table. What would you eat is the next question. I just made that up then.
I'm a big fan of Wagamama, so.
Oh,
yeah,
nice. Nice. Is that your favourite restaurant then, Wagamama's?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is it back open?
Yeah, it is actually, yeah.
So have you been already or not? Not quite.
I've had a takeaway.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. So, what's your favourite moment from your sporting career?
I think Rio, to be honest. I think nothing really beats the Paralympic Games. I think that was just an amazing experience. The closing ceremony was really quite an amazing experience. I remember it just like rained.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the rain was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And then when our the red jackets like leaked, the dye came out of them, so you just like were covered in red.
Besides the rain, I mean, it was a great evening. Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't think you're on such a high that the rain can't kill that. You're like, actually, I don't care that I'm getting wet. It's warm and everybody's having a great time. So I'm just going to enjoy this. Because who was it that performed? There was quite a famous person, wasn't there, singing? I can't think who.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty useless with famous people. Oh, anyway, I don't remember. What about your biggest disappointment or one of your worst experiences in sport?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't think I've had any like really bad experiences. Yeah.
Good. Positive.
Yeah, I guess so.
You don't want to have any, I suppose. And your favourite place that you've raced?
Berlin was quite nice, to be honest. Having the European Championships there. It's just quite a nice place. Yeah, it was a good experience as well.
Berlin's a really cool city as well, actually. I really like Berlin.
Yeah, it was really nice.
So much history as well there, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Although, do you get to see much of it when you go to these places or not really?
We didn't see a lot, but it was nice because you could see like where, you know, like where the Berlin Wall had been, and there's a couple of like historical kind of areas and like memorial kind of things. So
yeah, good. Definitely. And so how is the rest of the summer looking for you? Are you getting some time off at some point?
At the moment, not really. I mean, I'm just kind of enjoying just doing training. So I think I'll just carry on, and especially not knowing whether we're going to have races or not, I'm just going to keep ticking over. Yeah. Enjoying training and just see kind of what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what does your training consist of? What's like a day in the life of Kare?
It depends on the day really, but mainly rollers at the moment. So I'll have like a roller session with the team, and then also I've been doing a couple of strength sessions. So I might have like a strength session in the morning and then a roller session in the evening, depending on the day. So not every day, it's both. But
is Sunday a day of rest, or is Sunday still a training day?
I've got training. So this afternoon we've got a virtual group session.
Oh, cool. Have you ever, I don't know if you can do rollers, but have you ever done rollers on like Zwift?
No, I haven't actually. Yeah, because I've seen some cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can connect, because you still get like power. Do you still get power and stuff on your rollers or not?
Power, no. Well, we have like miles per hour.
Yeah, so you probably get more the like not stroke, but the cadence and the yeah. I don't know if you can, but I suppose if you're doing virtually anyway with your team, that's kind of as good as.
Yeah, definitely.
Gives you something to kind of aim for. Is there anything else that you particularly want to discuss, that, you know, an area that you're really passionate about that you want to talk about, or something that you want to tell people that they might know about you? I don't know if there's anything else you have in. Any questions you would like me to ask you?
Not really. I don't know. Just generally, I'm really proud to be a part of the Paralympic movement. Big thank you to Ottobock as well, you know, for their support. And yeah, it's just been quite exciting to be a part of this, and it's just good that people can find out a lot about the athlete, you know, outside of just what we do, because there's a lot more to us than, you know, competing. So it's been a nice way of everybody being able to find out about Paralympians and just get everybody excited for next year. Yeah,
definitely. And that's kind of why I wanted to do some sports questions, but I also wanted to, you know, at the end of the day, we're all human beings behind an athlete. And I kind of think it's important to know, like, some of my stupid questions of ice cream or ice lolly, but, you know, getting who are you? What's there's so much more to us than just that athlete identity. And I think that's something for other people to realise. So yeah, that's I think that's good to know. I had something to say then, and I can't even remember what it was. But yeah, no, I think this is amazing in itself. I do think we need more exposure to para-athletes, and we need to kind of get to know people a bit more, because it's been really nice actually chatting to you. Like, we're on the same team, but we don't speak every day, so it's actually quite nice to get to know you as a person as well as an athlete.
Yeah, you too, definitely. I've known about you, but I've never been able to talk, which is quite good. Yeah.
Oh, I know one thing I was going to say actually, because obviously I remember watching you on stage at BBC Sports Personality in 2018, wasn't it? Yeah, and you won the Young Sports Personality. Now that was absolutely incredible. Like that must be a pretty big dream come true.
Yeah, it was such an amazing experience, and to actually win Young Sports Personality of the Year, I was surprised. I knew I had a good season, but I mean, there were so many amazing performances by young athletes that year. So I was really proud, and it was nice to be up there, also representing para sport to an extent as well. So it was really good.
Definitely. No, and it's such a fun night, isn't it? It's definitely one of my best nights of the year. I love going and seeing what everybody's achieved, and you come back and you feel so motivated. You're like, ready to take on the world.
Yeah, it's just really special to be a part of that, and just such a huge celebration of British sport. And it's a really good time.
Definitely. Right, well, I think that draws our interview to an end. It's been so nice to chat to you, and if anybody does have any questions for you or wants to watch your Instagram lives, where can they find you?
Yeah, so on my Instagram page, I've got all the interviews on IGTV. So if anybody wants to watch those, they're all there.
And what's your what's your name on Instagram?
It's just Kare Adenegan. Yeah.
Perfect. I was trying to think. What's the tag? It's not tag. Or is it the tag? What's the tag?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So cool. So yeah, if people want to follow Kare's journey and see more of those Instagram stories, definitely recommend it. Go and check them out. And yeah, a big thank you to Paralympics and also Ottobock for putting on this, amazing opportunity for us to get together today, and just sending everybody lots of love and take care during this quite strange time. So thank you, Kare.
Thank you.
Take care. See you later. Bye.